The competition authorities say COVID-19 has changed the competition landscape throughout the world. The change has not been an easy one. The virtual conference is under the theme Economic Recovery and Reconstruction, the Role of Competition Policy. The Competition Commission says it hopes that with global development and vaccine rollout, the coming conference could be held in a conference venue. Competition Commission Commissioner Thembinkosi Bonagele, in his opening address, says the country is getting poorer and drifting away from shared prosperity since the onset of the pandemic in South Africa.
We live in a middle-income country, and there are two things awaiting us. Either we slide deeper into an economic basket case with worsening unemployment, poverty and inequality, or join the rapidly industrializing and increasingly prosperous emerging economies. Much of what happens to us depends on the decisions we make and implement today.
Public Service Commission Commissioner Dr. Somadota Figeni says COVID-19 pandemic has made countries across the globe rethink their strategies. Figeni says the pandemic has exposed South Africa's weaknesses such as inequality, poverty and failures of leadership.
It is out of that crisis that we begin to reimagine a future that we never thought was possible. And it is out of that crisis that certain fault lines are exposed, because that is exactly what COVID-19 has done. It simply amplified some of our weaknesses, which we knew were there, but to the extent that it has magnified them now, it is difficult for us to ignore them.
Competition Tribunal South Africa chairperson Mondo Mazwai says one of the lessons learned about markets during the pandemic is that markets can fail because of supply and demand disruption.
I think it's uncontroversial to say that the end goal of competition regulation is the eradication of market power, whether it is through the abuse of dominance, cartel behavior, or through a merger. In a developing economy such as South Africa, competition law and policy also seek to address specified public interest. Pre and post the pandemic, this goal of eradicating market power remains the same.
Competition agencies responded to the COVID-19 crisis and the lessons from the pandemic for future competition regulation. The agency says the pandemic has influenced their current and future thinking on competition regulation and policy, investigative and judicial procedures, agency operations, as well as competition enforcement. Nothando Makutulela, SABC News, Johannesburg.